We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a conversation with friends. Today, my guest is none other than the adorable Rowana Ray.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Well, first off, thank you very much for agreeing to do this because I don't know if you've ever been on any other show, and if you haven't, I haven't paid attention to it. I only
Well,
pay
you're so
attention to certain
busy,
shows.
I've
I
been
should.
on a few, but thank you for the invite.
I love you and I sit and have a chit chat every so often when our time allows. So I figured, you know what, you are a great person to have on. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Ashley. Um, One of the things, everybody, when I asked Ro to come on this show, I have to go see if I can do this without tripping over myself. Um, I asked her for a bio, and she's like, I don't have a bio. So I said, can I try? And she said, yes. So, what is written in the description of the show, which of course I can't see it and I can't find it. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can do. Here are you?
I'm doing a little sharing here.
Here you go. Okay. And please, please, everybody, just share the show. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Jody. Just my little gorgeous one. Hey, Dave. Okay. Rowana is a woman that found beauty and treasures through the lens of a camera, which means she's a photographer. 2 weeks in a row. Searching for the next treasure, little did she know a building would call to her, like siren's song to the sailor's mind. 101 weaved its magic and called Rowana. Oops, hold on, open that. Called Ro. eh, a connection was made, and Ro became the guardian for the building and all of its residents. An exchange of energies commenced. The gentle but powerful warrior, Rowana, took up the task of bringing to life this home and its residents for the visitors to come. The people who don't know who you are, um, dude, seriously, we all have to get to know who Ro is. Let me just share this in. I have no idea where I'm sharing it to. Share it to page. Angel Meadows. There we go. So people who don't know who you are need to get on the boat because you have done. Okay,
I just,
first off, you're an amazing lady because you are a mom and a grandma and you are a photographer. But the thing is, the beauty that you see through a camera lens, to me, that's an amazing thing. Anybody who takes pictures, you see something like you may not be able to paint, but you can see more through a lens that
hmm
other people can't see it, and you put it out there for others to see, and I think that's amazing.
I love it. I mean, we've got several mutual photographer friends, and you just there's something about it. There's more than just capturing it. You kind of go into your own zone when you're behind the
Yeah,
lens.
you
I
have to
miss
get a hold of. Hey, Scott, you have to get a hold of Jay Lynch and help him because he's
that.
got cameras, and that's all I ever hear him saying. Somebody's got to teach me how to do this. Somebody teach him how to do it so he can start doing it.
Oh, he knows how to do it. He knows. He went upstairs at 101 and he took photos, and I'm like, oh my God, I love that. Oh, I love that. He just doesn't
He
post
doesn't have the
them.
confidence in what he does. Well, he doesn't see that he can do what he's doing.
Yes.
Jay
But
Lynch, if you
he
don't
has,
start posting, we're gonna start getting on your back.
yeah, because he has the eye for it, and he really took some amazing photos.
So I'm assuming that we will catch those pictures soon. I
I
gotta have,
hope so.
I'm gonna have to
I
tag
miss
Jay in
him
this
all
one.
the time. He comes in there carrying his camera bag and everything, and I think, okay, we're going to see some photos. No,
No, no.
if I didn't see
He's
him on the camera when he does them, I wouldn't see him at all.
because I think he's more hard on himself.
I I totally agree. Yeah,
So now we're gonna pick on Jay.
why not?
There you go. He not here to defend himself, so ta-da.
He'd be disappointed if we didn't. You know.
We always talk about him. I always talk about him. I love him. He's adorable. Mind you, I have a thing. I used to be madly in love with Jay. I have to be honest. I used to be madly in love with Jay because of his suspenders. I have a pair of his suspenders will be written in the will for me. So I'm like, so I'm gonna have to live a long time because he's younger than me. But then he introduced Bodine, and I was like, okay, Jay, who? Now
That's
you
not.
have met Modine. Hey, Ruth.
Oh, yes. Yes,
And
I've got to hug. Bodine's hugged me.
ooh, I think I'll get
Yeah.
yours.
I had to throw that in there.
Hey, I'm sure. Okay, fine. I'll have to write a little. I'll have to text message Bodie.
Yes.
Okay, so 101. Tell me how you found her.
I just kept driving by and it just sticks out in the skyline to me. It just I just kept noticing it. And then it had dirty, dirty windows, like black windows. And it had a for sale sign over on the side. So I called it and kept calling and wasn't getting anything. And finally, a realtor said, "Well, I don't know. Let me check and call you back." And they never did. So I started calling around town and it was for sale. And a friend of mine, we walked through and that was it.
That was it.
As soon as I walked in the door, I knew that's,
Now, the building is an historical building.
yes, it's 161 years old. Excuse me. 162 this year.
That's just a little bit older than me.
And it has that old feel to it. Maybe not so much the cafe area, but
Hmm.
the basement and the second and third floor do. Absolutely. You feel the history when you're in there.
Yeah. Now you have, correct me if I'm wrong. You've redone the cafe, so it is heated. It's like a cafe. It's got bench seats and everything. It's got a bar. It's got all the amenities of a cafe. But the
Yeah.
rest of the building, you haven't really, you haven't changed it. You've just cleaned it up.
Yes. Yes. At first I thought about redoing the drywall and the ceilings and the walls, I thought because
Hmm.
it would look amazing. But it would also take away some of that history feel to it.
Hmm.
So I just like to get it clean and take out the paneling, things that were from the 70s, and it made a difference.
Yeah.
It did.
Well, I think what you've done with it is you've brought it back to its roots, its foundation, you know, and everybody who's there, the living ones to come, and the ones who are there and alive in their own respect, are enjoying the fact that you haven't made like a lot of people will buy a place and not change the outside because it's an historical building, but get away with making changes on the inside so that it's not the place that it was. And
Sometimes you do
you've
that.
allowed it to stay who it you've allowed the building to stay who she originally was.
It,
And I keep calling her a she,
I
so
feel
okay.
like it should be. I mean, maybe someday somebody will turn it into apartments, but that
Ooh,
ruins it, in my opinion.
yeah.
And some people have mentioned it to me, but it's not appealing to me.
Well, if you're gonna rent it out, if you want people want to rent the place and sleep over, you're gonna sleep over the way it is now.
That's right.
Go to Misfit Manor and have it. Bring your sleeping bags.
I was kind of amazed because I knew it needed cleaned, but
Hmm.
we've hauled like 10 truckloads, 5 trailers, 3 30-yard dumpsters of junk and trash out of there. And the place started becoming alive. I mean, that history started showing once you got rid of all the stuff,
Yeah.
the cool baseboards, old light fixtures, even down to an old toilet paper holder.
Oh,
I just,
dang.
the locks on the doors, the doorknobs, just neat
Are the
things.
doorknobs the little glass ones?
No, they don't have those, but I do have some I thought about putting on there.
Because
Yeah.
that's what because I can remember growing up when we lived in a place that we lived. I can remember one place had those glass doorknobs, and they wanted to change them, and it's like, oh no, why?
Oh, no.
But
I
that was like 100 years ago.
those are treasures. I love those.
Yeah.
This had the old round metal ones and
Oh, the
some that
brass
they,
ones.
I don't know if it's brass or not because I painted them. It probably is. And
Okay.
then some are I found one that was bakelite, which was odd. It's
Bakelite,
kind
what
of
is that?
it almost looks like a stone. It almost looks like tiger's eye.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you'll have to send me a picture of that.
Yep. So it's the woodwork though, 14
Yeah.
inch boards and stuff like that. It's just really cool.
I think people love to go buy old buildings and renovate them and make them new again, but that's not the whole point. When you buy an old building, you need to let the heart of that building uh come back to life. Because so many people make so many changes. Like you said, you brought all took away all that junk and it didn't. But once you did, it's you could feel the life coming back to it.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Jay's in the chat room. We were talking about you, Mr. Lynch. A
Yeah,
friend of mine in the chat room says, "Sounds like very romantic project to fall in love with the space like that." Um,
that's
Ashley,
true.
I sent you a link probably to join the page. Go check it out. We're gonna do a road trip.
Yes, yes, you've got, and not just one day. You've got to come and spend some time here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's one of the things I want to do is spend some time with you.
That's the
No,
neat
it wasn't a
thing.
short. Mr. J Lynch goes. He's first off. He said, "Hello, beautiful, wonderful ladies." Here, let's get this going up there. And he apologizes for being late.
Oh, not a problem.
And then and then I said we were talking about him, so his comment was had to be a short subject. No, well, it kind of sort of was only because we couldn't figure out how to complain any longer that you haven't been posting your pictures that you've been tagging.
Yeah, he needs to go back and hear the beginning of the show, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and he will. Otherwise, um, yeah. So okay, now aside from the cafe, which you have
Mhm.
fixed it so that everybody can sit around and have chit chats, which we'll get to a little later, another part of your things that are going on in the cafe. But what are the other rooms that you have?
Well, there's three rooms in the basement. One was a speakeasy. The other one was a fish market and a butcher shop. And the other one is actually under the building in the back. So I think it was like a workroom because there's a huge workbench in there. Um, let's see. The other side of the cafe was a dry goods store and a menswear store. And upstairs, he used to have an apartment for the people that had the drugstore, which used to be in the space that the cafe's in.
Hmm.
And then also, the upstairs was originally built as the Washington Hotel. And then in the later years, it became a bordello on the third floor. The Civil War round table used to meet
That's
up.
why Jay likes to hang around on the third floor.
He likes the second floor too. I haven't quite figured that out. uh, and then let's see, the Redmen of America used to meet up there. I believe that's how you say it. And a TV repairman used to be up there. Dr. LaRue, which he studied with the Cherokee Indian medicine man. Um, he used to see people travel, and that was one of his stops. There used to
Nice.
be a doctor that also did dentist work, and there's there's just so much history there. I mean, I could go on and on.
I didn't think we should. Jay says, I love that place from the basement to the attic. Oops.
That's true.
It's
That's
such a
true.
wonderful place. I have never been there, but trust me, for everything that I've heard, and it is actually the the only place that I've ever watched an investigation live and have connected. And it's like it was like wild. And so like every time they go, people saying we're going to 101. It's like okay, do it alive. I want to see this again because it's happened twice.
Well, it's
And
always active there. That's what amazes me. Is it's always active, and
yeah,
I always tell people during a tour, do you have your recorder? because they will catch something on the tour every
Hmm.
time.
Okay, people. The address is
Yeah.
there. 101 Cafe, 101 South Main Street, Winchester, Indiana. 1-317-999-3464. Call it up. Call her up. Book a weekend or book whatever it is you need to book and go there. Just remember also the money that you pay for the investigations stays at the 101. It helps to do any
Absolutely.
upgrading, any bills. You got Wi-Fi, people. You go to a place you want to get Wi-Fi, you need it. So she has to pay for it. So it has to come out of somewhere. So where you think you're going to go? So, and
Heating, air conditioning, refrigerator, microwave, snacks, you name it.
yes, the great hostess.
Well, I just try to provide what I would want if I went somewhere, you know, and I want people to feel comfortable. The building may be history, but it's nothing if I don't get to share it. And when I do share it, I want everyone to have a good time.
Exactly.
It's,
Now you're redoing, I know you've done some of the rooms. I'm sure you still have a lot more work that you have in your mind to do.
yeah.
Um, Misfit Manor. Tell us about
Yeah.
Misfit Manor.
Well, I when I would go like at a secondhand store and see things or look for things that I wanted for 101, I was seeing these dolls and they'd have like a burnt mark on the face or a missing finger. And I think, why are they even selling it? Nobody would want it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that at one time, a little girl really loved that doll. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a shame. I mean, what do you do? Take this doll that this little girl loved and just throw it away? And I thought, they're all misfits. And then that's how the whole thing came about. And so I
Misfit
thought,
Manor.
I'm just going to dedicate a place for these dolls that are torn, old, cracked, burnt, missing parts. And so that's how Misfit Manor came to be.
Now in Misfit Manor, in 101, one of the spirits, are any of the spirits young children that they would go there and play with the dolls?
Possibly. A mirror that I have in Misfit Manor, um, someone gifted to me from
Hmm.
another haunted location. And
Okay.
this mirror belonged to a Sarah. And so I didn't want to bring it home. So I took it to 101. And
Okay.
then we started capturing, or they started capturing a Sarah on the spirit box. And there's, they've actually caught a little girl singing. So someone asked her, said, well, how do you get from one place to another? And she replied, the pipes. So I don't know. That was a little strange, but who am I to say how she gets around?
Yeah.
But now she can go there and things do move in Misfit Manor. So possibly she's going in there now. I've yet to have anyone um, actually let me know if they've caught a little girl in that area. Normally it's been in a basement or the third floor.
Hmm. Now I know in the basement you have a what was it? You can do oh, geez, I can't remember the name. Where you sit there, one person sits there all alone by himself. The only one I remember seeing doing
Isolation. Yes.
isolation. Thank you. The isolation room. First off, takes a whole lot of cojones to want to sit into a place by yourself with nobody but the camera and spirit and connect and listen and but there are some people who go in there that should keep quiet a little bit so that you can hear spirit, but just keep talking. We won't say who it is.
Well, he's not the only one. People talk a lot when they get nervous, and
Yeah.
I'll pick any. See, I don't let them choose the spot. I choose the spot where they're going to go,
Okay.
and so they just have to sit there in this area
Hmm.
for an hour live, and it's amazing how nervous they get.
Oh yeah.
Even experienced people, and Some are calm, cool, and collected, but yeah, there's been a couple. There's was one that was talking right off the bat, nonstop, even about his kids' Nintendo games and everything. Whatever he could think of, just an hour of constant talking. Got up, walked out of the basement, through the cafe, and out the door and forgot his phone on the counter. He was that ready to get out of there.
Oh gosh. Jay says, "Sorry, I get bored if nothing is happening and I want to roam."
Yes, he does a lot. Now,
Yeah,
he had quite an experience on the second floor.
I remember. I was actually in on the live feed with that one, and that if anybody wish we could have somehow saved it, but the video of that disappeared.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah, I believe Jay says he cannot find it. Jay Lynch went up to, you said, the second floor, and he was connecting with spirit that was there, and he kind of went a little bit wonky. He was slurring his speech. His wife was in the main building downstairs. So, and then his best friend Jason Arthur called him up, Facebook lived him during the event, during his
He could
thing.
tell.
Oh yeah, and we could see the difference, you know, and but it just goes to prove that there is a connection there. Whether everybody gets connected or not, it doesn't make a difference. But there is a connection there because as a spirit to me is kind of like people. Sometimes you just don't like certain people, and sometimes spirit just don't like certain people.
I agree.
So I
Yeah.
mean, you have to treat spirit the same way you treat each other. If you want to have a
Well,
conversation, have a
you
decent
always
conversation.
respect them.
Mm,
Respect them just as you would somebody in real life.
Oh yeah, it's so true. Um, this speakeasy,
Hmm.
that's down in the basement, right?
Yes,
Is
that's
that
the
where
large
was that
one.
where the little spiders live?
No, I've only seen two spiders. No, I've only seen one, and then one was caught on camera.
Yeah,
I
I
just,
think
it's so
I have
bright
no
to
issues
see.
with spiders.
I actually sprayed the building from top to bottom, which took forever because I wanted to make sure there were no spiders. I don't like spiders.
Well, spiders are helpful. They have their moments.
Yeah, well,
It shows you.
anybody
It
else
goes to
would
show you
know.
how grown men can can act like little girls when they see a spider and scream. That'll be Joe Kudo, but I've seen it in life. Um, Hold on a second. Jay Lynch just wrote something. It was supposed to be Tina Duchesne isolation set that night, but something was stopping it from happening. No matter how we tried. Yeah, and that's the thing is people try things, and just because it doesn't happen doesn't mean it does. It's because it's not meant to happen at that moment in time.
Well, we were getting a little sexy, for
Woo!
lack of what to say. And I was going to tie her up to Miss Carrie's door. And Teresa and Tina and I, you know how women will talk. Well, I pretty sure the male spirit up there was listening in and right around us because no matter what we did, I couldn't go live. I did, the energy was off. So we changed it to upstairs, and on the way upstairs, I had an encounter with him, and he screamed "Go" in my face.
Oh,
So he was upset because I didn't tie her up to the door, I think.
hmm.
But
Men be difficult.
I
That just
don't
goes to
know.
show that men can be difficult when they're breathing human beings and when they're breathing spirit. Can
Yeah. So I kind of be careful what I do, where I do it, and who
There
I
you
do it
go.
with.
God, the naughtiness that goes on in that place when you're not around.
So yeah. So
Mm.
Tina still hasn't done an isolation, and I think Jay's wanting to do one in that corner where he had an experience, and we've actually caught someone else did. Donna and Linda caught an elderly lady groaning where Jay had his experience. So
Hmm.
I don't know if he's up to an isolation there or not. In fact, that's a challenge, Jay.
Thanks, Scott. Scott is a friend of mine. He says, sounds great, but he's got to get to work. He's doing the night shift. And Jay says he's ready to get back to the corner. We got to stick Jay in the corner. He's a naughty
Yeah.
little boy. Hmm. But just lost my train of thought. Um,
Well,
one
I'm not
time,
the one that does that.
no, 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 you're not. It's all Jay's fault. And he just said, "Hell yeah, I'm ready." There you go. One of the things that you are coming up with, you and Jay and Teresa sat down, had a nice conversation, and came up with the round table.
Yes, the
Now,
paranormal round table.
tell everybody a little bit about that.
Well, Jay and I have been talking about it for quite a while, and it just gets everyone together where they
Mm.
can discuss the paranormal, maybe equipment, experiences, learn how to do things, be able to freely discuss things without being ridiculed or put down. Because, there's a lot of that on Facebook. You
Yes.
got your keyboard warriors. But in reality, there are people that would like the answers to some things
Mm-hmm.
and like being able to be in a discussion. And so it's really nice. The first one went very well, and we didn't even know what we were doing. But it's kind of like you and I talking now. You just
Yeah, exactly. Just
whatever
for a little
comes
one
up.
in the chat room, Bambi Jenkins says, "You look beautiful, Ro.
Oh, well, thank you. She always does. She's got beautiful eyes.
Gorgeous eyes." Yes, I was going to say
Yeah,
that.
she sure does.
Mm. But
I've got to
it's
wear my glasses to be able to see, darling.
I had to
Comedy.
hide mine. um, I think it's great because I'm part of the paranormal community, but I sort of like sit on the outside because I've never done it. When I actually get it done, and yes, I will get into do an investigation somewhere somehow. I don't know, just so that I can stop saying when. But I sit there and I watch people argue over such nonsense. But it's like that in everything. But this is a community. I believe this is my way of thinking. This is a community that should help each other. Because
Oh,
you have up and
absolutely.
coming investigators that want to learn. Just
There
in case
should
anybody's out there who's up and coming, connect with Jay Lynch because he's willing to help anybody. Just he'll
there
sit down
should
and
be
talk with you. And it's
somebody,
yeah.
and there shouldn't be somebody putting someone down unless they're going way overboard and they need to be called out.
Oh, me like the one who keeps saying he's a superstar, and I keep saying he's not been on my show with me, so he's not a
I'm
superstar just yet.
I'm talking about a few that I've known they've cut themselves to get, things like that. They
Hmm.
need to be called out. But really, I love the way that the round table went the first time. I'm looking forward to the next one
I was
because you
eavesdropping.
have people that have been in this for years and people that are new.
Yeah.
And, Jay is an excellent networking.
Yes.
Just his networking is off the charts.
Yes, it
And
is.
this also is a part of networking. And so it's great to have him be a part of it. There's a lot of times you have like, oh, what do you call it? Event organizers and,
Hmm.
oh, well, you go to their things. But, there's just jealousy and I'm better than them. Well, there's just no room for that.
Yeah.
Not if
No.
you want growth and not if you want to work this field like most do want to get those answers.
Yeah.
You need to work together. And so this really helps.
It
I
does.
believe we're going to have one coming up. We haven't scheduled it yet, and we're going to have people talk about the equipment that they have,
I
and
think
that'll
that's
be
good because there's so many different pieces of equipment out there. And
yeah.
for me who just sort of sits back and watches, and I can just imagine somebody who wants to get into it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the piece of equipment that has me really intrigued is that one that makes the spirit look like a stick figure. I think
Um,
that's
oh, what is that? The connects or something like that.
Okay, we just had a comment from Mr. Lynch. Working with Donnie Irvin and Lindsay Lovell Bannon of Weird Weekends at the Paranormal Roundtable at 101 is an honor and a privilege.
Yes,
So
that's
yeah, this is a show where we name drop people. So drop your name in there. I'll make sure it gets it. I may
yeah.
crucify names,
Yes,
but yeah.
Donnie Irvin of Weird Weekends booked an event there and had psychics. It was such an amazing event. I mean, I really liked it. I didn't
Hmm.
stick around for the investigation, maybe a little bit of it, I think. But they the a neat experiment that they did was the psychics walked around the building on their own and took
Hmm.
notes, and then each one sat down with me and they told me, and I took notes of what they told
What they
me.
were saying, yeah.
And then after they all did, then I would call out who picked up what, and then that gave them validation on what they picked up. That was a really cool experiment.
It is. It that sounds like it's where you have a bunch of different people doing it separately, but in the end coming together. And
Yeah,
this is what needs to happen. You know,
I
and
agree.
I think 101 and you are the perfect place to have it done, because as much as I mean, there are so many places out there. Okay.
Oh, there are.
Okay. Mr. Lynch has put the link in for the Paranormal Roundtable on February 22nd. Anybody go to connect with Ro, connect with um, me, connect with Jay, and if you want to be part of that the roundtable, we'll I'll find a link and I'll just share it on my page. It's just simple.
Absolutely. And because if they live too far, like you do, you can still be in the chat room and ask
Exactly.
questions and be a part of it.
Yes. But see if Jay got this app on it. I'm sorry. Just gotta get it. But yeah, I like busting Jay's chops. It's fun. But yes, and it's a great, and I can attest to the fact that Jay Lynch, if somebody's doing something anal retentive and becoming a goat nut, thank you, Jokudo, Jay Lynch will stop it where it's in its tracks. So like people have questions sometimes that they think I can't ask that question. Like it's a stupid question. Nobody's gonna. But the thing is, the only stupid question is a question you don't ask that you don't ask because somebody. Oh, hey Tina. Somebody. I haven't heard my name said this many times without being in front of a judge. Well, we can get handcuffs if you'd like. But this is a
I'll
place
try
to
that
do
for an
things.
isolation. Go. I like these ideas. Mm.
Yep. And this is a place you can do these things. You can ask the questions. Even it's as simple as how do you connect? Or what, I thought I felt or I thought I saw or I thought. The thing is if you thought that you felt, yes, I promise. I'll have to talk to Bodine about that first. um if you thought you felt something, 9 out of 10 times somebody else felt it, but was just like you going, don't know if I should. So this is a great place. This is, as I call it, a safe bunch of people to work with.
Yes, and the location, I can say that about the location too.
Hmm.
Um, there are teams that want to go find that demon, you know. Um, I don't have, or that I'm aware of, have an evil demon there. And there doesn't need to be a demon
No.
to investigate. I don't know why, personally, don't know why someone would want to look for a demon, um, because the spirits that are there, they have a story to tell.
Yeah.
And, other than that, they're just amongst themselves. They, I think the history's cool.
Mm.
I see little Tina's icon up there, but I can't read it.
It says, yes, cuff me, baby. I need to do my isolation. We did talk about you a
Oh,
little while
that's
ago and
right.
doing your
Okay,
isolation. So
Tina, you're
about
on.
being tied up to tied up to a door frame.
Well,
But
not a problem.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know if there'll be cuffs involved, but
Oh, yeah, I'll find some.
there we go. We have. Wait a minute. there's connections in the paranormal mysteries team that have cups. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, over on the other side, on the fish market side, just
Mhm.
on the outside of the building on the corner was the police booth. And the history books say that under the police booth was the jail cell. It was just a pit in the ground with a trap door, and they'd put the prisoners down there. But they realized that it was inhumane, so they stopped all that. But at
Okay.
one time, I do believe it was out there or in the very close vicinity. And somebody did catch the EVP prisoner over on that side, and that side is active. Um,
Oh.
so maybe we should handcuff her over there. Just saying.
There you go. And Jay Lynch says Jason Arthur needs to do an isolation session as well. He's the
He
one who should be
does.
cuffed, by the way.
Yeah, he does. Yep.
Cuff his ass to the table.
Well, he's had some experiences in there too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I could pick a good spot for him.
There you go.
Gotta get
It's a
him
long.
there though. He hasn't been there for a while.
Well, as I keep saying, people have. I said that to somebody once, and they said, "Oh my God, I haven't talked to you and spoken to you in so long." I said, "That's because some people have lives, and it doesn't mean it's me." So,
He has to
but
work and being
yeah,
able
he
to
has
work
to
with
work, and
somebody.
he has a lovely family, beautiful wife, and amazing daughters. That man is so blessed. He's surrounded by women.
Yeah.
uh, oh, Jay said we had a hell of a good night on the butcher side. Tell me about this, the butcher side.
Well, see, since I don't investigate, I can't really say what he experienced, but when before any team had come in there,
Mm-hmm.
I was having Living Dead Paranormal come in there, and I thought I at least want to clean a path so they can get through this room.
Yeah.
And it was so heavy. Just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. And I'd start and I'd leave and I'd start and I'd leave. So I stood in the doorway with my phone and started shooting video. And something like you could hear him go across the floor right up to me and tap my phone 3 times. And I thought, okay, that kind of validates the fact that what I was feeling. So
Yeah.
later on, because I gave it a little space. I figure sometimes at time their energy will kind of fade away. Maybe I mean, I don't really know. So I
Mm-hmm.
went back in and I was cleaning a bench off on that same side, and I could just feel someone hanging over my shoulder.
Ooh.
So, and Sean Foreman of Living Dead got grabbed by a hand on the bottom part of his thigh, and he said it's just an ice cold hand, and you could feel on his jeans that it was cold.
It was cold.
Oh yeah. So I mean that's the experiences that I know over there, but it's active. Every room in that whole building's active. That's what gets me. I guess as some I think it was Brian Donhausen, if I pronounced his name right.
Okay.
And Teresa Lynch also have said that the history is so layered there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I believe that every room is haunted.
Well, there's so many. A building that's been around that long hasn't just had one owner, and it hasn't been just one thing. As you said, it had a speakeasy, it had a butcher shop, it had a fish market, it had third floor brothel.
Well, it's like almost 3 of our lifetimes. I mean,
Exactly.
if you go on the average of 50 years, it'd be 3 lifetimes.
Hmm.
So that's a lot of history, and it's one of, if not the oldest building in Winchester. I don't know that it's the oldest, but it's pretty close to.
It's one of the older ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Lynch in the chat room said it was the night we had four psychic mediums and Rick in the middle of them. All of them had the urge to do physical harm to Rick. Was it spirit? Was it spirit, or was Rick saying things he shouldn't be?
No comment.
Jason, Arthur, and myself captured a shadow figure pacing in the corner across from the cell area.
Oh, that's where it came from when it rushed up to me. Yeah. I didn't know that, Jay.
See?
Yeah,
Get on my show and you learn all kinds of things.
absolutely.
Hey, Candace. A quick shout out to everybody in the chat room. I would love to do it, but I can't figure
Yeah.
out how to do it. So I try and say hi to everybody as you walk in. Um, oops, my sound is gone on my phone. It's fun when I'm talking and I'm hearing myself talk like seconds later. You don't tell a lot. You need to be sitting there writing out, doing an agenda, a journal. Write a journal of all the fun things, and then give it to Ro. This is what happened with Paranormal Mysteries while you were there for 1 year. Get your
I'm
butt
going
back
to
there.
get a book for people to start writing their experiences in. Um,
Well, that'd be
I
cool.
had somebody from another location tell me that someone kept stealing their books. So, but everybody's been so kind that visits 101, and I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just not.
If you
So
don't
long,
try, you never know the stories that you'll get.
right. I
And
just,
I think so long as the people are willing to share, I think that's what the
yeah.
issue is if people want to keep their little their the events and the things that happen during their time there, want to keep it to themselves, dude. Don't write down the story. Don't fill out what you got to fill it out. But if somebody else has something that they want to share, it's like maybe they took it because they wanted to read it. Dude, everybody has a cell phone with a camera. Take a picture of it and just blow it up and print it out or whatever.
Well,
You
that's
know.
why I started this name storyboard for 101. When somebody tells me or I hear an EVP that gives a name, I put
Mm-hmm.
that name on the storyboard, and and then I have it posted somewhere in the photos on the 101 page. And it's neat to compare, like you can tell if you keep hearing Roger, let's say, then you
Mm-hmm.
know that he is there quite often.
Yeah.
Um, but investigators don't share their evidence like I would think that they would either. And I'm grateful for those that have in the past, and I post it when I do, when they share with me.
Here's a question. I'm gonna just read what Jay. We had it filmed, but it was with a different production company and lost the video. But LEP Production and Paranormal Mysteries is going back and filming an episode there this year. Yes,
That'd be nice. I see
that'll
Greg
be nice.
commented, but I can't see what
Yes,
he wrote.
he said. I put it up there. I said, Greg Summer asked, "How about the afternoon you got stuck in Misfit Manor?"
Oh, well, I picked up Lacey, his daughter, because I was just
Mm-hmm.
dying to get Misfit Manor done. So we went up there, and I didn't think anything of it. She came in
Misfit Manor is
behind
on
the
what floor?
second floor.
Okay.
And so it has two doors to it. The front door was sealed shut because I've been keeping investigators out until it was done. And so we went in through the back door of it, and she was behind me, and she closed the door. I didn't think anything of it, no big deal. So then I get the floor stripper, and I'm down there and I'm working on the floor, and I hear knocking. Okay. And it was only maybe 10 feet in front of me. And I stopped. I thought, did I hear knocking? And I heard more knocking. Okay, that's it. So I went to the front front of it. It's a long room. I went to the front, and I thought, okay, because that's my only way out. I
Yeah.
was ready to leave at that point, but I couldn't. So I had to work up the guts, and even being at the front, it was still knocking. And
Hmm.
that's what was really something. So an hour, let's say, passed. I finally get up the guts and I go back there to work on the floor, thinking that the spirit's energy is dissipated, right? No,
Hmm.
it started knocking again. So I went back up to the front, and I was ready to just throw my keys down to some man, unsuspecting man, going, hey, I'm locked in here. I can't get the door open. Just
Like,
tell a little fib or two. But
uh-huh.
I really didn't know if that was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a hold of, I believe it was Greg's wife, Lacey's mom, and said, can he come over here when he gets off of work? If it had been 3 hours, we'd have been up there 3 hours. I just couldn't get the guts to open that door because I didn't really want to see anything on the other side knocking. So
So you're not an investigator, but you do, as I call you, you are the guardian of 101. So you don't like to investigate.
I don't know. I don't.
No, not again. No way.
If I get startled, I don't want to say scared, but startled,
Mm-hmm.
I really scream. Tina can attest to that. So can Dennis, so can Teresa, and boy, can I scream. Um, and I don't like that. I don't want to interact with them.
Okay.
I just don't. I want them to know me as the caretaker of the place, and I want them to know that I respect them and I expect them to respect me.
Well, I have a feeling that they do,
They
because, like I
do.
said, you have not made changes. You have just brought it back to its basics. You have brought it back to, and I keep calling the building a she, but you have brought her back to what her original purpose is.
Well, it's clean. And, even whether you're alive or dead, you don't want
Hmm.
dirt, trash, and
No.
plaster and bricks. And it was nasty.
Yeah.
So, in fact, Greg and Lacey and I cleaned the butcher shop side, the fish market side, and we were just down to our last little things to sweep up, and we heard real loud, "Woo!" So
Nice.
evidently,
Somebody was happy.
yeah, one of the spirits was. So they appreciate that
Oh yeah,
cleanliness.
I'm sure. And Jay Lynch in the chat room says he can attest that Rowana Ray is a screamer.
Yes, I am. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, no, no, no. There's too many people who've heard you screaming. So, and Tina says yes, that was a startling night,
Oh yeah, she screamed after I screamed.
and nobody was screaming for ice cream. So
That's
yeah.
right. I
Okay.
don't want to go through that again. I just
Uh,
don't.
I think that's one of my biggest fears for the time that I actually go to a place and get involved in investigation. I'm not going to say do an investigation, but be involved in an investigation. I I know that I will scream. Like, it's difficult for people to startle me now. Okay, people will come up behind me and tap me on the shoulder, or come up behind me and go boo in my ear, and I don't jump, because I know that majority of the times it's an actual person, and if it's not, well, when I turn around, if there's nobody really there, then I might have something else to say about it. But for right now, I'm like, um, Jay said he had two ladies screaming with him. So that, because he was screaming too.
Yeah, yeah. He was walking up the hallway, and the spirit, after it screamed in my face, it turned and went down the stairs. Of course,
Hmm.
I'll never forget Tina up against the wall, kind of, thinking what's going on. And the energy or something knocked the mirror down that was on the wall, and it was just small, and it was rolling down the hallway, and Jay's walking up, going, "What the hell's going on?" And then I got upstairs, and once again, see, I would have to go through that to um to leave.
Hmm.
So, and that's, I think that's the most common feeling I get there, is feeling claustrophobic.
Okay.
Like, okay, can we call the fire department? They're right across the street. They put the ladder up. No, I'm afraid to get up on the ladder this high. Um, I've been down in the basement with the only other person that was in the whole building. They would be
Hmm.
with me, and we would be in the speakeasy and hear footsteps above our head. That's happened 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, there's one way down and one way up. So again,
Yeah.
I feel claustrophobic. Get me out of here. In
Okay.
fact, my
Greg.
mother didn't do that. She's
Mm.
like, let's go now.
Greg in the chat room said the building itself has just so much history in it, which there is still a lot more to learn about it. Which true. I
Yeah.
don't think, and Jay agrees. Every building that has been around as long as 101 has, it's going to have um, residual energies from the past. It's going to have uh, spirits. I keep coming to say people, but same difference to me. We're going to have spirits that want their story told. They want to be able to say, "Hey, you know, this is what I did here. This is, this is," and you allow them to have a safe place to be.
Well, Greg has he spent a lot of time there helping me clean, a lot of time,
Mhm.
more than anyone. And it was so neat to get a room done and really look at it after the
Mhm.
trash was out, or notice the marks on the floor, or try to figure out how it used to be. And he has a thick, very thick book of the Randolph County history, and he let
Okay.
me borrow it. And I just returned it the other day, and he said, "Did you get to read some of it?" And I was like, "I read it front to back, took pictures." I love it. And I can start seeing these families, and with having that history book and feeling, I mean, it actually gave history of the building and who was in there. I I just think it's so cool. So
It
cool.
is. It
And when you take that paranormal and put it together with the history, you've really got a story. And
yeah.
I'm sure they have spirits have stories to tell that are in the history book,
Yeah.
or one that they didn't get to tell someone.
This is where
And
you're giving them a place to the people who come to 101 are their audience, so they get to tell them their story. Some people they don't want to talk to, and some people they do probably want to chit chat, sit down with Jay and a good shot of whiskey and have a conversation. But we don't go down in the speakeasy. Are you planning the speakeasy right now is empty, right?
it has a table, a dartboard. That's basically it.
Is that where
I
the chalkboard was?
No, that's on the fish market side, butcher shop
Okay.
side.
Are you thinking of making the speakeasy kind of sort of speakeasy-ish? If that makes any
Well,
word sense?
I'm actually have a project I'm going to do in there later this week. If I can, I have to have somebody else do it for me.
Greg,
So no,
Greg.
no, one of the guys that does some construction things. We're going to bring back something that was there and take out something that is not original. I'll just say that. It's
Ooh.
it's going to change the way the speakeasy feels. So I'm looking forward to it. It's not that huge of a project, but it's neat.
Okay. Jay Lynch says that Bodine had a great time there, sat in a booth and had a cup of coffee.
Yes,
Miss Bodine drinks coffee.
he did.
And I'm putting this out there. Jay Lynch did a photo shoot in the kitchen. Now all we have to do is see proof.
Yeah, he did a neat one up at Misfit Manor. He took some really cool photos of those dolls.
Jay, we want to see them. And yes, something that Jay mentioned earlier, Jim would have loved Misfit Manor. I have a feeling
I
he's there. He's smiling.
I think that it might have taken away his. He had a fear of dolls, right?
I know.
But I think that Misfit Manor might have changed that. It
Hmm.
has. I don't know. I mean, to me, it has a different feel. But then again, I kind of put my love into where I put everything. There are some things that are creepy up there. The doll that sweats, creepy.
Doll that sweats.
Yes. In fact, I did a tour. Oh, just the other night, and I showed him. I said, "And this doll sweats." I said, "Oh my gosh, it's sweating now." It's been freezing outside, and it was sweating.
Interesting.
It's
Greg says, here is a possibility of the peak hole room could be a place where the bouncer stayed in control of the activity on the third floor brothel.
could be.
Now, how does that? How does Greg know about peak holes in brothels?
Well, from up there,
Uh-huh.
I think that the activity that went on in the peephole room was horrible. I'm not going to say it on video. I do say it in tours, but I remember one time Greg and them were doing a spirit box session upstairs and I was at home watching it live. I think it was Greg, but I'm not sure. Said, um, "Do you know what that room was used for?" And it replied, "Rowan does." So
Oh,
I'm just going to go with what I think because there isn't anything in the history book about all that. But you can see where the brothel rooms were and possibly even the hotel rooms turned into brothel, it just,
same difference in some
yeah.
respects. Jay Lynch is going to put a bed up on the third floor so he can test out the brothel.
Yeah. um,
Okay,
we
Jay.
just haul that blow-up mattress up there for you, Jay.
All of a sudden, he'd be laying on that blow up mattress and then it'll deflate all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
Yeah, that is one thing that I'm going to be offering in the future, I do believe, is where somebody can rent it out and spend the night for like honeymoons, like um, just something along that line where they can
Mm,
sleep up there.
that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't allow any sleeping up there now. They can sleep in the cafe if they want to, but I might work something along that line.
Now, do you have cameras in the cafe that you connect to at home? Because you said that they were doing a box session and you were at home and you were watching it.
Well, they were live on Facebook.
Okay,
So
but you
that's
don't
how they
have.
do it.
Okay, but you don't
Yes,
have cameras that.
I
Okay.
have five, and they record 24/7 in various spots.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, if something's stolen or someone breaks in or anything, I can go back and review it. And then I have another different camera system that I get alerts on my phone. And I'm still in the process of adding more cameras to that. But mainly right now, they're for the entrance door, things if
Okay.
somebody breaks in that I can call the police or something. And then I just purchased a camera that has audio on it. And as soon as I can figure it out, because like I told you, I'm not a tech person, I'm going to live stream on YouTube and set it up in
Oh,
areas.
nice.
And the basement, several people have said that they see lights and it's pitch black in there. There's no windows to the outside, but they
Mm-hmm.
see light across the room. In fact, Ruth from, I believe it's Night Terror Paranormal, I just shared a video where she caught a green one. And um, so I might set the live feed up in the basement for a while and people can watch it at home on YouTube. And then I'll
Okay.
move the camera to other areas where we can see what they catch.
That'll be fun. I'll
Yes.
I'll sign up. I'll sign up. I'll be there. My husband would be like, "I want food." I'm going, "No, shh, go feed yourself." What? No, what?
Well, when I first got the cameras that I get the alerts on my phone, I kept catching myself watching them. I don't do that anymore. When nobody was there, I'd go, well, I wonder if I'm going to see this or that. And it can get addicting, and I stopped doing that.
Should give me the connection so I can do it on my laptop and home. I'm home all the time now, so might as well do something productive. Greg says, and Ruth agreed. She says, "Yes, I did."
Yep.
Okay. And Greg says, "But try catching the shadow figure that wander the hallway."
Now, He's from oh, Jay would know his name, doggone it. I can't think of it. He has an event company. Um, he said he saw the shadow man crawling from one side to the other on the second floor. Donna and Linda said they saw it. In fact, I have a video clip or an audio clip that I need to post. I need to find it. They caught the knocks on the door. And also, um, well, in fact, I did share the video where they caught the old woman groaning, and one of them said they saw something, and she told me it was the shadow figure that they saw. Several people have seen it. I've seen it in the kitchen in Misfit Manor. I thought it was the man that was working there.
Mm-hmm.
So I called out to him and he didn't answer. And I called out again. He didn't answer. So I went to the kitchen and the man I called out to was in the hallway. So I've seen him.
Hmm.
If I never see him again, I'm just fine.
As long as it doesn't scream in my face, we're good. Don't mess
Yeah.
with me. It's like, don't mess with me.
Yep.
Well, like I said, for me, it'll be interesting the day that I do, and I have like I have a wish list of places I want to see go and people want to see, and there are quite a few that are in this chat room and in this show right now. I do want to see because it's funny. You make friends that I would never have met any of you without Facebook, and I think it's a great it Facebook connects people in so many ways, and it's just an amazing thing that. Um,
Well, so
oops,
does
hold
the
on.
paranormal community too.
Yeah,
And
but see this,
yeah,
I've never
you
been involved in the paranormal community, and this
yes
allows me a
you
window
are.
to get involved. I know,
Yeah,
but before, but
yeah.
before Mama D, right? I was
You
never,
are.
I did my angels, and then it's all Jay Lynch's fault. The paranormal connection. We'll just blame it
Of
on
course
Jay.
he is.
There you go. But it gives me that window to be able to say, I've actually witnessed, haven't been a part of, but I've witnessed an investigation, and it's like interesting. And sometimes I'm sitting here, and the first time I watched an investigation, I'm sitting here going, "Why is there a ball in the middle of the floor?" And somebody would answer the question, "They'll see the balls in the middle," and just nobody can hear me, but it's like, okay, thank you very much.
See,
But
I mean, there's so many people out there that are beginners and don't know why either. You know,
mhm,
that's why the paranormal roundtable is nice. People can ask questions either in chat or be there. And
yeah, and the round table is not just about the paranormal when people call it, ghost hunting investigations. I know that you guys are going to have other topics of conversation as well.
yes, I'm kind of leaving that up to Jay. Okay.
And Jay says, "Feel free to blame it on me." We did. We do.
We
I
did,
did,
no
and I do.
problem. It was easy,
We just
wasn't it?
we didn't ask permission. We just did it. Mm. Yeah.
I have a bucket list of locations I'd like to go to, and I don't investigate, but that love for old buildings doesn't just stop at 101. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I've been to Penhurst, but I'd like to see all of Penhurst. Um,
Okay.
and there's just several places that I'd like to visit.
I mean, I don't see why not. If people are interested in history, not just the paranormal, but in history itself, these
And
are
the
places.
photography.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Okay. I could see you and Jay side by side with your cameras.
well, the only problem I have is when these locations have events, you've got to pay for a ticket that is basically the meet and greet along with the investigation.
Hmm.
And you don't get to wander around to do just a solo take photos of the place.
Hmm.
So, you might have to pay over $100 just to, and then it's nighttime and then you can't do the photographing
Yeah,
that
these
you
damn
want
pictures.
to.
Yeah.
So,
Because
yeah, I wish that locations would offer something like that. I'm
well,
I'm thinking
you put
about
it out
doing
there.
something. Yeah.
Exactly. Putting it out there is giving people it's like, hey, people who have locations. I don't want to do the investigation, but I would like to go and catch the pictures of it. If if you don't ask, you'll never know.
Well, if I start something at 101, maybe it'll start
The dominoes.
right. Just like the
And
paranormal roundtable, Jay can take that on the road to any location.
yeah, exactly. And Jay Litch says, "Well, let's start checking them off the list, Ro.
Yep.
Just make sure you put on that list coming up here to see Mama D." I've already warned my daughter that when Jay Lynch comes to town, we have to be
Oh boy.
very careful. God. Oh Lordy, that'll be an interesting one. An adorable hillbilly in overall bibs, um, is trying to speak French. I'm going to teach him some French words.
He might wear a skirt. You just never know.
There you go.
Um,
Well, he would be
um,
great on St. Catherine Street.
oh, he's dressed up in some crazy outfits for sure.
I know, and
That's
he does them
fun.
all with a good heart, and this is what's really cool.
Absolutely. And that's the one thing I do love about the people in the paranormal community is you can
Mm,
have fun. You can be kind to each other.
yep.
It's I see a lot of I don't see a lot of because I learned to filter out, delete, block, move on type
Yeah,
thing. Um, because of jealousy and people, just don't have the right attitude. So,
no, it's true.
but it can be done and done right. There's kindness, have fun,
Mhm.
and I like that.
Jay in the chat room says hold on, let's put it up here so people can see it. The round table isn't a Jay thing; it's a paranormal thing. Yes, but
Oh, come
Jay
on.
started it. It's all your fault again.
We'll argue about that some
And
other time.
woohoo! I'm on Tina's bucket list. Yippee!
Yes.
And Jay
I'm
says,
glad
check
you're
it off.
reading all those comments because I can't do both here.
Just me. It's if I can read them, but it's responding to them that I have. It's like somebody said, "Well, why don't you have somebody else helping you out?" What for? That's what it's for. Look, I got to keep my own self together. At the end of the show, I go back and I like and laugh and love and whatever the comment to each person's comment. So, hey, you JM, how you doing? Um,
Like I was, I mentioned to you before the show that I swapped rooms in my house. So
hmm
everything in my office room is like, ah. And I thought, oh my goodness, how am I going to get on camera? And I know I have a webcam, but I've never hooked it up. And then my speakers somehow got fried in the move. They don't work right now. There's bzzz. So um I have to say that I am very happy that my selfie stick tripod is held up.
did I saw one the other day at the dollar store and I don't need that. But it was handy. I had one once before. My daughter gave it to me, and it was handy. But now I just do everything on my computer. But I have to have the second phone going so I can see what's going on. Okay. Oh, Jason Arthur's in the house. We were not talking about you at all.
Not at all.
You
Not
will
at
have
all.
some Quebec in your life, darling. And we have another guest. Donnie Morris says history is a big draw for old buildings. It is. Because, I mean, you can go into any old building, but if you don't know at least a little bit about it, or somebody around doesn't know at least a little bit about it, then it's just an old building.
Yeah.
You can't, having the history can verify sometimes some of the things that people will pick up.
Well, even if you take the paranormal out,
hmm
the building itself is the history there is really cool. And I'd like to do history tours. I need to start working with the community there
Okay.
to get them on board with this,
Why not?
because uh no comment.
Okay. First off, I have to say that I'm busy, but you busier than me. It's like, hello, people. Where's Ro? I don't know. She said 101. How far is 101 from your house?
An hour.
Okay. So when you get up in the mornings and you go to 101, you drive an hour. eh, When you get home, it's like, I ain't going back. But there are things that
Oh,
you, there's things, I'm sure there's things that you wish, it's like, if I could just be there, I could do this whenever I wanted to. But
I
in
could
a,
work myself to death there.
yeah, and that's what I was saying. That's what I was going to say. With the idea that your house is that much farther away, makes you take the time to to break it off, to go breathe, and
on the way there, I already have it pictured in my mind what I'm gonna do, and I plan ahead in my mind. And excuse me, on the way home, I get to relax and wind down. Try to put that behind me, and then think about what I'm gonna do when I get home. The hour drive is sometimes aggravating, but then again, is it's nice.
Ouch. Sorry, dog's going
An
down.
hour would be better.
I think it's the way the 1 hour drive is the way that on the way to it would be the way that gets you setting things up, like you say, setting things up in your mind, and coming home. It's the way for you to debrief.
Yes.
Like for me, when I used to work, my husband would pick me up and he'd go, "How? So, how was your day at work?" And everything would just come spewing out. So that by the time I walked into my house, there was nothing left of the day job. It's a little different than being 101, because that is your baby. That is, what you work with, what it's your passion. But it still gives you that time to cut off, because you can't just go. You can't. It's not like a flipping a switch. You can't just turn it off.
Well,
So you need that time to break it
I
down.
was, yeah, I was doing a lot of physical work. Greg can attest to that. Just working until you couldn't work anymore, and then getting in the car and driving home to the point of exhaustion. But that heavy duty work is over with, and sure, I could go there and work that hard today, but not like that. Not buckets of mortar and plaster and
Hmm.
trash. Um, but it's nice sometimes to take the country roads home and
Yeah.
take the camera with me, and I like that.
Well, because again, it gives you that disconnect.
Hmm.
Because then it touches on another part that's close to your heart, the camera.
Well, there is such an energy there, such a historical energy, that it's a little odd being in it by yourself all day
Hmm.
long. So I do need that time to unwind, um,
True.
time to separate myself from it.
Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna go home and just be Ro, not the guardian of, just Ro.
Yeah.
Go home and
And
talk to Mama D, which we haven't done in a while. So this is having a great time.
yeah, well, I mean, you've talked to me while I worked, but you know,
That's true. I've been in the containers with you.
you, you have been.
Be like, okay, I want to go shopping in the container. Yes, I happen to agree with that 100%. Tina says, you are certainly an incredible woman, Ro. It's true.
I'm just me.
Yeah, but that just me is an amazing lady, because you
Mhm.
have such a great heart. You care about everything and everyone.
I just I don't know what to say to that. I just me. Um, I think you should care about everything you do and love everybody. That's just the way we should be in life.
Yes, it is. I agree. That's why we get along so well. Well, it is past the hour, which I love being the producer, owner, and all that stuff of my show. I have to answer to anybody.
There you go. Well, thank you to everyone that joined in. I'm sorry I couldn't interact with the chat, but I didn't want to be rude by staring down at my computer and not.
No, that's
And
mine.
yeah, it's because I got the computer over here to my left, but I have to look straight ahead to you. So thank you to everyone, and thank you, dear, for inviting me, and I hope you can make it down here sometime.
I will. One day, I will. That 2020 is my year to get my shit together. get my
Well,
stuff together. If
we'll
not,
see what we can put together.
when Jay and Teresa come up here, they can somehow kidnap you and bring you up here. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Everybody, thank you very much for tuning
Thank
in.
you.
I will see you next week. My guest is Gina Bankston, from, I can't remember the name of her show, but
Yeah.
she'll be here. And Wednesdays is Getting Over the Hump with George and myself, Oive. And don't forget to tune in and support every other show, every other paranormal,
Click a
everybody.
like.
Just
Click
go
a
ahead.
like, comment, share.
Exactly.
That's what the networking's about. Yes.
Exactamundo. All right, my darlings. Thank you
Bye
very
bye.
much.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye, everybody. And